Scott, the tax millages on the April ballot for Shreveport voters. There are six of them. It raises about $11 million, but there's an undercurrent in the city. These millages expired in December. The mayor wants to call them renewals. People are saying, no, these aren't renewals, and there's a push to vote them down. How loud is that push? What are you hearing?
I think the push is loud, and it's growing louder. Some people like to ignore social media, but social media is the new norm. It's the new way to judge things. And the way we've been headed, you could sense this push 2 or 3 years ago when some simple renewals just barely got over the finish line. Then we had that round of cattle commission renewals where you actually had a school board tax that sort of got defeated a little bit, and then you had the real big signal was those cattle commission taxes. And so there's a real sentiment of no right now in this community on taxes. There's a sentiment of show me value, and I think these six could be in trouble. At least one or more of these six. The larger issue beyond renewals, I think when people really start doing it, you called me and asked me about this, and I've looked into it. Is the best I can tell, the 2018 city budget is actually balanced with the revenue from these six taxes.
That's what I don't understand. Don't I already owe the city this money? And shouldn't I don't get the fact that when I pay my taxes before May, before I get put in the newspaper for delinquent taxes, isn't the bill that I'm paying now for 2017?
Well, and that would be for the city attorney or for the finance people to.
And then I could include it in my budget for 2018.
Yeah, the city's budget is made up of a bunch of different taxes, and so if they're saying they collect the 17 taxes at the end of 17, first of 18, and that's what they're counting in the 18 budget is what they collected in 17,
then it would be okay.
Then that's okay. But if the taxes come in at the end of the year with the payments, and that's what's in the 18 budget, then the budget's balanced. Either way, just to put an importance on how important these taxes are to the city for voters to consider, I think as you pointed out earlier, there's about let me find my notes here. It's about 7.35 mils. They total about $11.3 million. At the end of 17, the city had a fund balance of about $4 million.
Wait. So we would be...
At the end of 18, they'd have a fund balance of $4 million.
So if we had to fund all these, we'd be in the red $7 million.
Correct. The fund balance starts out this year somewhere in the neighborhood of about $11 million. And so they're actually taking money out of the fund balance. We're going to spend money over revenue in 18. So we're already drawing down the fund balance. But if this $11 million is not in the budget, I think it's going to be a problem for the city. There would be real jobs lost.
You said earlier, use the phrase, the sentiment of no. As far as taxes are concerned, do you think that is sort of a general feeling in the population? Do you think that is a lack of faith in the Tyler administration? Or do you feel that people in Shreveport look around and say, I'm just not getting my bang for my buck?
Yes, would be my answer. I think anytime you look at why people vote no, I would think all three of the things you just mentioned would come into play. You have some voters that are going to vote no just because it's on the ballot. You have some voters that look at, I'm willing to pay taxes, but am I getting the value back from what I'm paying? And I think that's where a lot of voters are transitioning in Shreveport right now in Caddo Parish.
Pardon me, bluntly put, do I feel like the current administration is spending my dollars wisely?
And then the third is, who's spending my dollars? And I think with everything going on, there's been a lot of issues with this administration, particularly around money with the water billing, with some other things, and that has raised another level of voter who might otherwise say, I want to support my city, to say, wait a second, what are they doing with my money? And of course, the water billing comes at the same time that the previously approved water rates are kicking in, and people are going to see higher and higher water rates.
You mentioned just briefly that if these don't pass, there would be jobs lost. Let's delve a little bit into that. Police and fire jobs, drainage, street jobs, water, sewer, spar jobs, or it could be a combination, a variety of all?
Well, you're looking at $11 million. You're looking at 5% of the overall city budget. And so 5% becomes a pretty significant issue. The issue is these are dedicated funds. Prop 1 is for street improvements. So that's probably concrete and paving. Prop 2 is for SPAR facilities tax. That's to run the SPAR facilities, the different buildings. Prop 3 straight up is salary and wages. That'd be $1.7 million from salaries. Prop 4 is for police and fire uniforms, $1.7 million. Prop 5 is pension, life insurance, and hospitalization. That's almost $2.6 million. And then Prop 6, which you already talked about, was over $2 million to help fund that three platoon police system.
Scott, we're talking to Scott Hughes, by the way, local political guru. This is going to be a loaded question. You can answer it, or you can tell me to go to...
So it's your last one.
I don't know about that. Was it irresponsible to wait until this late date to put these on the ballot?
The ultimate answer to that's going to be if they pass or not. It sounds like a tried answer, but if they pass, then no. The city played their politics correctly. If they go down or one or more goes down, then yes, they waited too late. Looking back, if you look back, when would they have run them? Probably they would have run them a year ago today, last spring. I don't think they were in a position. I don't know. I don't want to say somebody missed that opportunity. You have bond counsel. You pretty much know when tax elections are coming up. I think they didn't want to run them in the fall with everything going on. There was a lot of political activity. We had the original Bayou, cross Bayou vote going on. A lot of politic in the air. A lot of negativity.
Huge though in a mayoral year where we're electing a mayor. To have this hanging over the head, a lot of the candidates are going to wait until after this election, correct?
Yeah, this will happen in April, and then the filing. This is a unique year. The filing for this cycle is actually in July, so we'll hit July, and they'll start filing for council and for the mayor's race. And if one or more of these do not pass in April, you can almost guarantee the city has to bring them back at the end of the year. Well, that puts them on the same ballot as the mayor and the council races, and politically, that would not be a good move.